Greetings, dear ones. I am the Archangel Raphael. It is my pleasure to speak with you. It is my delight to come to share these teachings through Tanya as a blended voice, and for us to bring forward these energies of awareness and conscious ability as you begin to shift and change, as we open our eyes onto a new existence and a new way of beingness on the earth plane at this time. We speak to you today to bring forward these messages of support, but also hope, and to perhaps motivate you into shifting your awareness into the frequencies of joy and lightness of being. For there is much density at this time, there is much tension. Many of you are feeling weighted down, feeling your physical bodies as if they have a sense of pressure, as if you were deep underwater, and a sensation of pressure pushing and pulling. And please know, dear ones, that this is a natural effect of the energies that be on this planet at this time. It is part of being in the density and being able to explore sensations that you might not have had otherwise. And in doing so, you are able to explore facets of yourself you might not have addressed otherwise. And this is part of the grand awakening on the planet at this time, part of the experience of so many, and why it is so vital for you to acknowledge what you have done and what you are continuing to do. And in understanding that you now have an awareness both of your spiritual existence, but also the physical, of being embodied, of coming back into the physical body and being able to connect with it, and to understand that the two of you are working in tandem, that your body is not your enemy. It is your friend, your life support. It is you. And in working together, this is how you have an existence that creates the path that you wish to take, whether that is simply to be here to experience, or whether that is to have a hand in the change that is happening on the planet at this time. But do be clear, my beautiful friend, that the two of you must be working together. For one to work without the other is a hollow experience, and one that leads to much strife and struggling. There is this tendency in the timeline, the years and existence that you are currently having, especially for those of you who are embodied as female, to be struggling with your external. For your society has, for a very long time, been very fixated on the external, the way that you look and present yourself to the world, to others, to yourself. And somewhere it was lost, this ability to love yourself for who you are, and to understand that each of you, with your own divine frequency and resonance, carries within you all that is needed, carries within you all of the energies for change, for healing, for joy, inspiration, for living. Not simply for yourself, but for those that are around you. And so that this connection has been lost in a long struggle for power on the planet, and it has become a way of being. But one that in the last few years has changed radically, as you will notice simply by looking at those that are able to do what you would call influencing, where they are sharing their ideas and information through your internet and social media platforms. And we invite you to look at this topic, for it is one of utmost importance to help you to remember who you are. And it is a wonderful paradigm for those of you that have played in it, those of you who have felt less than, who have judged yourself, who have judged others simply based on the external appearance. And it has given you a chance to step out of it at times and say, I do not understand that this is working for me any longer. I do not know that I feel like I want to live in that energy any longer. I am not growing from it. I am not learning from it. But if I step out of it and I look back, I can say, there is a lesson. There is something that I have learned. Because now I can say, I am consciously aware. I choose to no longer feel all of these emotions that are what you would call the so-called lower level, dense, negative emotions, specifically around your physical body. I do not need to feel guilt or shame, embarrassment. I do not need to feel different, or that looking like an ideal or a set ideal, which may not even be something you strive to, but many are fixated on that idea, and so you see it constantly and begin slowly, insidiously over time to believe that you must look in a certain way, act in a certain way, dress in a certain way. And it pulls you from more important matters, those being the consciousness of yourself and understanding that who you are and what you are is beautiful in its own way, and more than beautiful, needed. It is needed to accept who you are, to be part of your physicality as much as your spirituality, as much as your mental body, for this is the one that is the most prevalent on the earth at this time, the mental bodies. And you are coming into a state of integration where all of the bodies that you possess are working together. But looking back, and to use the same example, when you are pulled out of that alignment, because your entire focus has become specifically about one item, one topic, whether it is the physical body, the mental body, or what have you. But in today's example, we speak of the physical. If your entire beingness is simply about obsession with the way that you look, and never being comfortable with who you are, as you are in each now moment, then it has taken you away from the work that you want to do. It has taken you away from what you define as your soul path or journey or destiny, or whichever term you wish to use. When you strive for that, long for it in the deepest core of your beingness, to be of service, to help others, to make changes in the world. Yet you are pulled away from the work that you wish to do because your focus has become solely on the external, on the way that you look, what you should wear, what you should eat, how you should be in the world. When you take the time, when you have the ability, as you do have, for those of you who are here are truly awakened beings. You have come to that point in your existence where you understand that you have more choice than you thought possible, where you have more power than you thought possible, where you are beginning to understand that your thought, your focus, your attention, your energy does indeed create, because you are a creator being. You are creating the existence within which you live. You are creating the experiences that you are having, both on your own and with those around you. And so do you see, dear one, that this distraction, for that is exactly what it is. It is a distraction that was created with intention to keep you busy, to keep your focus off of the path that you wish to be on. And so when your focus is there, you are no longer with the energy to do the work that you wish to be doing. And so you understand this now as an awakened being. You can see that there are these options. As you are, or if you are, just coming to this realization, I do invite you to be gentle on yourself. And this is perhaps one of the most difficult lessons for you in this experience. To understand that what you are going through is more than okay. It is your journey. It is your path. And to understand that these distractions or deviations are part of the choices that you have made. It does not mean that you have done something wrong. It does not mean that you have wasted time. It does not mean that you are not being effective. It does not mean that you are off of your path. It is part of your path. But here you are at this great conjunction. Here you are at this, what Tanya likes to call a pivot point. And at this point you have choice. Do I continue to do what I have been doing? Do I do a radical shift and do something completely different? Or do I begin to slowly shift away from what I have been doing into something new? Always you have the choice here, dear one. So it is important to know that yes, you have been in a place of distraction, but you are now aware. And in that awareness, there is this need, and I do say it as a need because it is vital for you to have compassion on yourself. Because that compassion and that love for yourself is what elevates you, is what allows you to make this choice to shift out of the way of beingness that you had been in before and go into a different direction. And so you begin to see there are different options. And so those of you who ask about confidence and wondering, how do I go from a state of feeling uncomfortable about myself, about not feeling like I am in my power, not feeling like I have the strength to move forward. It all begins with that moment of compassion. It may seem very challenging in the beginning, but it can be done. It is simply the willingness to live in an existence where you are not experiencing the emotions that you do not wish anymore, where you are not beating yourself up, where you're not feeling guilt and shame and sorrow and hopelessness or fear. It is like reading a book and letting the pages simply fall from one side to the other. It is very simple. It seems very daunting at first, but as you go through it, it becomes easier. And in this space now, you have this ability to say, I see that there is a choice for me now. I had not seen it before. I was so busy looking at these pictures, looking at these other people, feeling this lack within myself, feeling that if I were able to look away, talk away, act away, that is different than my own, that perhaps it will fill up that hole that is in me, this open chasm that feels empty, that feels bottomless. You know in your heart that that is not true, but it is very difficult to separate the heart and the mind at times. The mind likes to override the heart, and in the three-dimensional matrix, the mind is what is being continually stimulated, being diverted, being bombarded by frequency, energy, stimulus. But when you are quiet and go within, when you allow yourself to turn off your screens, to step back from stimulation, back from the music, from the noise, from all of the lights that flash to stimulate your nervous system. when you come into a place of stillness, whether you are walking in nature or if you are meditating, having a breathing or yoga practice, your heart begins to surface again. It takes over, and in that place you will find an entire world of information. This is what it is defined by you have it all within, because you do. It is simply a matter of understanding that this information resides not in the mind, but in the heart, in the quiet space between your breath. And so I invite you this week to have a moment of stillness. If you like to meditate, to try that. Do understand that you do not have to sit on the floor cross-legged to be meditating. This, I believe, is a barrier to many of you because you feel it is something that is unattainable, that your mind is too busy, or perhaps you do not have the time. The stillness can be found in many ways. It can be found in those moments where you are doing the dishes and your mind goes quiet and begins to dream. It can be found where you are reading a book and you find that your mind has drifted and you don't remember what you read. Or you find yourself on a walk and there is a stillness within. So I invite you this week to find some time for yourself. Begin even to set aside 5 minutes, for that is doable for all. And to allow your heart to sing to you again. To listen to the words that it has, the wisdom that it has for you. And this is how you begin to create a space where you can fill it with love and compassion. This is where the true filling of that deep well that I spoke of earlier comes from. It does not come from the external, but from within, from listening to the voices within your heart, to trusting your energy, the messages, the intuition, the thought that comes forward. And to know that your higher self, the energy that is you, that is connected to different realms and existence and ways of beingness, but is also you, is always there for you with love and support and gentleness. So this is where we are looking. This is the frequency that you are remembering. This is the energy that is you. And this is how you begin to change with conscious awareness. This is how you begin to fill yourself with love again. And as you begin to do so, these choices become much easier. The options become more. More information is presented, more options, the ability to see more than you had before. Do be gentle with yourself, dear one. Do allow yourself the space for mistakes, for without them you would not learn and you would not understand that you had grown. Allow yourself the space to be who you are and to know that you are not doing things right or wrong, for this is a vital lesson for you to understand. It is a very big challenge. It is built into the human existence. And know that all souls that have incarnated as humans are going through their own challenges. And it continues always, because it is a way for you to measure your growth. It is a way for you to understand that you have come from somewhere and you are going somewhere different. For that is how you measure your growth in this timeline, on Earth at this moment. So I invite you to take the time to allow yourself compassion, to allow yourself to be the observer of your existence, and to examine with playfulness where you have been putting your attention and focus, and where do you wish to put it now? Do you wish to change it? And to do so with compassion and understand that you have not done anything wrong. You are doing exactly what is working for you. But if you have this conscious awareness and you are ready to shift, to do so with compassion and understanding that where you have come from has been vital to your stepping stone to where you go to next. Because it does give you this ability to see a shift from one state of being to another. And as you begin to fill this well within with love and compassion and support for yourself, you will find that these shifts become much more simple, that the information is simply available to you, that there is a deeper understanding and awareness, and that it is easier to be kind on yourself. With that, I believe it is time to say goodbye for now. I am the Archangel Raphael. It has been my pleasure to step forward to speak with you today in this blended voice. I look forward to coming again with more information, more teachings. I leave you with the thought that you are always loved, you are always supported by so many. Do remember that we are here. You need only ask if you wish to work with us. Call out to your beloveds, the energy of your ancestors. If you like to work with the spirits of nature, the elementals, if you like to work with those of us who are angelic energy, those who identify with the frequencies of the starseed, the galactic, the cosmic, those who are the ascended masters. You see, there are so many here at this time around you ready to help. You need only ask, and we will be there. I thank you so much for the work that you are doing, for being so brave to be on the earth plane at this time. And I look forward to speaking to you again in the next now moment.